The Whispering Woods. I never should have ventured into the woods that night. The darkness seemed to swallow everything, and the trees loomed overhead like silent sentinels, their branches twisted and gnarled against the black sky. But curiosity got the better of me, and I found myself drawn deeper into the heart of the forest, my footsteps echoing loudly in the stillness. As I pressed forward, the air grew thick with a sense of unease, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. But I pushed the thought aside, telling myself that it was just my imagination running wild in the darkness. Then, just as I was about to turn back, I heard a faint whispering sound that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the forest. At first, I thought it was just the wind rustling through the leaves, but as I listened closer, I realized that the whispers were coming from all around me. My heart pounding in my chest, I followed the sound, my senses on high alert as I navigated the twisting paths of the woods. But no matter which way I turned, the whispers seemed to follow, growing louder and more insistent with each passing moment. And then, just as suddenly as they had begun, the whispers stopped, leaving behind an eerie silence that was almost deafening in its intensity. I stood frozen in place, my breath coming in shallow gasps as I strained to listen for any sign of movement in the darkness. But the woods remained still and silent, as if holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. And then, without warning, a figure emerged from the shadows, its form shrouded in darkness as it stepped into the moonlight. My blood ran cold as I realized that I was not alone in the woods. With a sense of mounting dread, I tried to turn and run, but my feet refused to move, as if rooted to the spot by some unseen force. The figure drew closer, its movements slow and deliberate as it advanced upon me with an otherworldly grace. And then, with a voice that sent shivers down my spine, it spoke. "Welcome to the Whispering Woods," it said, its words dripping with malice. "You've stumbled upon something far more sinister than you could ever imagine." With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I realized that I had wandered into something beyond my understanding, something ancient and malevolent that had been lurking in the depths of the forest for untold centuries. But before I could react, the figure lunged forward, its hands reaching for my throat with a strength that defied logic. With a cry of terror, I tried to fight back, but it was like trying to hold back the tide with my bare hands. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The figure vanished into the darkness, leaving me alone in the woods with nothing but the echoes of its laughter ringing in my ears. I stumbled out of the forest, shaken but alive, my mind reeling with the horrors I had witnessed. And as I emerged into the light of day, I knew that I would never be the same again. For in the depths of the Whispering Woods, I had come face to face with something beyond human comprehension, something that lurked in the darkness, waiting to claim its next victim. And though I had escaped with my life, I knew that the memory of that night would haunt me forever, a reminder of the horrors that lurk just beyond the edge of our reality. Days passed since my encounter in the Whispering Woods, but the memory of that night lingered like a shadow in my mind, refusing to fade. Every time I closed my eyes, I could still hear the whispers echoing in the darkness, feel the icy grip of fear tightening around my heart. I tried to push the memories aside, to convince myself that it had all been a hallucination brought on by the darkness and the isolation of the forest. But deep down, I knew the truth. I had stumbled upon something ancient and malevolent that night, something that defied rational explanation. Despite my best efforts to forget, the Whispering Woods called out to me like a siren's song, beckoning me back into their depths with promises of secrets waiting to be uncovered. And so, against my better judgment, I found myself returning to the forest, my footsteps echoing loudly in the stillness as I ventured deeper into the heart of darkness. As I walked, the air grew thick with a sense of foreboding, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. But I pressed on, driven by a curiosity that bordered on obsession, determined to uncover the truth behind the whispers that had haunted me for so long. Hours passed as I wandered through the labyrinthine maze of trees, my senses on high alert as I searched for any sign of the presence that lurked within the forest. But try as I might, I found nothing. No whispers, no figures lurking in the shadows, only the oppressive silence of the woods. Just as I was about to give up hope, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, the trees parting to reveal a sight that sent chills down my spine. In the center of the clearing stood a circle of ancient stones, their surfaces etched with strange symbols and glyphs that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. As I approached the stones, a sense of dread washed over me, and I knew that I had stumbled upon something far more sinister than I had ever imagined. With a trembling hand, I reached out to touch one of the stones, my fingers tracing the intricate patterns etched into its surface. And then, without warning, the ground began to tremble beneath my feet, the very earth itself seeming to come alive with a malevolent energy. With a cry of fear, I tried to run, but it was too late. The stones erupted in a blinding flash of light, and I was consumed by darkness. When I awoke, I found myself lying on the forest floor, my body battered and bruised, my mind reeling from the horrors I had witnessed. But as I struggled to my feet, I realized that something had changed. The whispers were gone, replaced by an eerie silence that hung heavy in the air. With a sense of relief, I stumbled out of the forest, the memory of my ordeal still fresh in my mind. But as I emerged into the light of day, I knew that the whispering woods held secrets far darker than I could ever imagine, secrets that were better left undisturbed. And as I walked away, I made a silent vow to never return, to leave the darkness of the forest behind me and never look back. But deep down, I knew that the whispering woods would always be a part of me, a reminder of the horrors that lurk just beyond the edge of our reality, waiting to claim their next victim.